is not a new word. It is a uh, existing word when we dealing with any kind of the information or any kind of the data. But in talking about the database management system, you're looking for the entire information in form of the database. So what are the various model why which you can represent, or what are the various way why which you can uh, show, or why or you can represent your information from the diagram way or pictorial way? But why it is required? The question comes in our mind, why it is required? Because we have the data in simple way, tabular way, or other kind of the way. But why it is required and what are the various advantages? So those part we will see one by one. So data model definition you can understand by the this slide. That is, a data model is nothing which is only the collection of the conceptual tools for describing the data and its relationship. So what the data we have and how to make the relationship between the other data. So that is already represented by the data model. So data model is basically a term which describe that in the database, then how the two different kinds of data are associated with each other and how they are making the communication or they are making the relationship with the other kind of the database. And that is part which is enter come into the data model. In our database we have only simple information and we have a single table. So data model, we can have only the simple model, but that is also recognized by the tabular data. So data model is also for the tabular way. So very beginning part we can say or default data model could be represented by the tabular way. But how the information to be modeled by the other kind of the things, that is to be associated under into the term that is a data model. So here you can read out the few words. So I put it over here for notes purpose as well. So you can take the some idea from this slide as well. So you can see the data models define how the logical structure of a database is modeled. So models means how they are connected, how they are associated, and how they are using. Data models are fundamental entities to introduce abstraction in the database management system. Each and every word, each and every statement I'm putting over here for the notes purpose, but it has a own sense. So please read out the each and every point carefully. So data models define how data is connected to the each other and how they are processed and stored inside the system. And this second paragraph is more important part. So I told you about the connection relationships. So this data model will explain you in graphical way so you can easily understand and what is the flow of the such kind of the data. Suppose I'm giving an algorithm. Okay, read the algorithm and tell me what is happening over there. Okay, it takes takes some time. You can understand. I know. But if I'm giving the flowchart of the such problems or solutions, then you can understand in the simple way, and because each and everything which is represented by the graphical way, so you can understand what is the flow of the such thing. So that's why the flowchart is most powerful tool to represent the solution of the problem. And same thing we can have the algorithm. So algorithm is nothing which is the only step by step solution of the problem. So such problem can be represented by the graphical way. We have the flow chart. Same thing in the database. If you have the database and if you have some problem and which could be solved by the database, but if we have the any pictorial representation why which we can represent, and that the term is required, that is a data model. So how data is to be modeled into the our database management system. So this is a term today we will see, or we will see the what are the various kind of data models. So today we have the theoretical classes, and but tomorrow we will have the some graphical way or some example by which I will explain the entire thing. If you have a real example, then how you can represent your information or a solution in terms of the graphical way. That's why we have the ER model. And why ER model is most powerful than the other kind of the model, so we will see one by one. But let us understand what is mean by the data models. Okay, so any doubt in this slide, then you can ask me. So what we need to do, look into the data model. So this is just idea about the data model. Yes, student, tell me, do you have any doubt? Then you can ask me on this slide. Yes, student, please tell me,
No
do you
doubt,
have?
sir.
So is it clear to all why we are going to understand the term about the data model? Yes, please tell me. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
So this is the just simple point, and this is the point which described it why data models required. Now, shall I move to the next slide, or do you have any doubt? Then you can ask me. Yes, student, please tell me. Do you have any doubt, or shall I move ahead?
Move ahead, sir.
Okay. So another terms we have into the different part, and you can read out the other kind of the things from the other books or other internet sources or any kind of the sources. So here we have the another term that is describing that a database model shows the logical structure of the database. So including the relationship and its constraint, they determine the how data can be stored and accessed. So sense of the previous slide is the same as we have over here. So in model are designed based on the rules and concept of the whichever broader data model the designer adopt. So here we have the important part. So as you know, before providing the solution, before providing the exact solution on the system on the machine, first you have the theoretical part that is represented by the algorithm. So algorithm is nothing which is a step-by-step solution of the problem, and then you have the flow chart. So the that is a solution representation can be done by the pictorial way. We have the flow chart. Okay. So same thing, if you want to implement on the system, then you have to follow the algorithm and flowchart steps. So before implementing or before writing the database on the our system, it is understand to a solution in from the graphical way. We have the data model. So same thing we have inspired from the flowchart. That is a data model. So most data model can be represented by an accompanying database diagram. So here we are talking about the diagram means we need to look for each and everything through the diagram manner. So first model we have that is a relational model. Yes. So the most popular data model in the database management system that is a relational model, and this relational model is also known as the tabular model sometimes. So most of the student will look this word from the various places, then you will find that is a relational model is also known as the sometimes tabular model for the confusing to provide the confusion to the student. So sometimes you are feeling that, sir, you told us about the relational model, but we found a new model that is a tabular model. My dear student, there is nothing difference between the tabular model and relational model, because in the relational model each and every information will be represented by the tabular way. So it is also known as the tabular model. So the more scientific model than the others. So this model is based on the first order predictive logic and defines a table as a n array relationship. So n array relationship we have the, suppose we have the one table, so we have the one relation. We have the two, so it is also known as a binary relation. Okay, so I will tell with the help of the some example one by one. Suppose we have the three relation, so or three tables. So this is also known as a ternary relation, and so this is the part we will see into the graphical way as well. Let us understand the some theoretical part over here. The relation model uses a collection of tables. Please keep in mind all the words properly over here. Relation model uses a collection of tables, both data and a relationship among those data. So each table have multiple columns and each column has a unique name. Okay, so a table is what? A table is also known as a relation in the relational model. So a table is also known as a relation into the relational model. So whatever we have done so far through the practical way, just we have designed a table. Okay, and that table is also known as the relation into the relational model. So nowadays or in current era, whatever we have, that is also followed by the relational model itself only. So each and every table has the multiple column and each column has the unique name, like age, name, date of birth. So date of birth or age are the two different columns name. So I can't have the multiple columns in the same name. I can have the multiple column, but I can't have the same kind of the multiple column. If I am doing so, so the input user or the user will get confused of which value I should use or which part I must use. So age1 or age2 I can have the two different name. So table name or in the table name, in the table column name must be unique. So this is the point we need to keep in mind. So this is just idea about the relation model. Okay, now this slide is clear to all, or any doubt over here, then you can ask me. Yes, please tell me.
No doubt, sir.
Any doubt? Do you have any doubt about the relational model? Then you can ask me, please. No doubt.
No doubt, sir.
Okay, so in the coming days, I will give you some assignment. So on the assignment, you have to design and draw your ER model. Okay, so or relational model. So that's why I'm just waiting for giving the assignment because I need to cover some important topic. So this is an important part for the database management system. That is the data model. So here first we are understanding the relational model. Now see, this part we have already discussed so many times. Now you can see this is the columns: sid, student id, student name, student age, student class, and student section. So these are known as the columns, and these are also known as the attributes. Okay, so sid is an attribute of the table, and that table could be the name of the student. Okay, so I'm giving the name, this table name, that is a student. So in this student table, or in this student relations, I can say this is a student relation. Okay, in this student relation, so what are the various attributes? Those are student ID, student name, student age, student class, student section. Okay, and these are also known as the columns, or these are also known as the field. Okay, so I am giving the multiple name over here for advancement. So you can see the 10010 Alex 49A. So this is what this is a this is a record. So this column, that is S is, so S is a column name which contains the values, that is the 14, 15, 14, 15, and so on. So now keep in mind all these values which is consist or which is integrated or consisted by a column, that is known as the data value. So you can say A is a data value of section. So this is also known as the data value. Okay, so 9 is also data value. Okay, same thing, we can say 10 is again a data value. Even this 14 is also a data value. Okay, so this is the point you need to keep in mind. So we have the word that here we have the this row, that is a 1104 bob 14 9 and a. So this is the value, all these values are the part of a record. Okay, so you can see 1140 is a student id, student name is Bob, and student age is 14, student class is 9, and student section is a. So this makes a collection of the some values, and this is also known as the record. And a relational database, it is known as the tuple. So in general way, we have the word that is a record. Okay, or in tabular way, it is also known as a row. So all are the same sense, all are the having the same meaning. So in relational database, it is known as the tuple. In the relational database, it is known as the attributes. So the term we have, that is change into the relational model. In relation model, we will speak about the attribute rather than the column. We will speak about the tuple rather than the rows or records. Okay, and entire things which is known as, we have the table, that is a relational. Okay, so it is known as the table or relation. So this is the very important part on which we have the some mathematical calculation things. We will see into the measuring the, or we will see the some performance, or we do the some operation on the relational model. So that part will be seen into the coming classes, but let us understand the few important terms which is a part of the relational model. Any doubt in this diagram, then you can ask me. Yes, please, student. One by one, we are understanding each and everything. Yes, please tell me any doubt you have, then you can ask me. Any doubt, anything you want to ask into this slide or this diagram, you can ask me.
Sir, I didn't get this difference between attributes and tuple. Can you explain?
Attribute basically represented by the columns name only. Okay, so sid, s name, s age, s column, s class, s section, these are the attributes name. Okay, and the tuples means the value which tuples means a record. Okay, tuples means a record, and which is represented by the values only. So sid value, sid is a tuple, sid is a attribute name. Okay, so what the value of this sid attribute, that is a 1140, and this is representation by the tuple. Okay, so we have the record. A record is what? A record is a collection of values which is represented by the columns. Okay, in terms I can say a record is a collection of the values which is represented by the columns. In relational model, we can say a tuple is a collection of the values which are represented by the attributes. Suppose we have the 9, so this 9 is what? This 9 is a value, and which which is represented by the S class in the this tuple which is shown into the orange color. Now is it clear to you?
Yes, sir, it is clear.
Okay, so that's why I'm just putting over here the row, record, and tuple. These are the same meaning. In the attributes or column name, we can say same meaning. Okay, and this S is a column, so it contains the entire value. So we have the 14, 15, 14, 15, 14, 15. What are these? These are the data values. Okay, so these are the data values. So while inserting anything into the table, we will use the data. And what is sense of the data? Those data, the data is contained by its own column name. And suppose we have the abc. So what is abc? This abc is nothing. So how to identify this abc? Along with its column name, we can say it is a section value, it is not a name. Okay, so this is this idea about the relational model and how will it look like. So this is our relation, or this is our table. Now is it clear to all? This is student table example we have taken. Any doubt, then you can ask me please.
No doubt, sir.
Now, shall I move ahead?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So here we have the some example I have taken from the internet, virtually speaking, so you can understand this example in simple way. A relational database comprising the two tables. So whenever I speak something about the relational database, it means the information will be represented by the tabular way visible to all. We were on the topic that was the relational database comprising the two tables. Now tell me, it is visible to all? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the relational database comprising the two table right now, we have the customer table and another one we have the account table. So in the customer table, you can see the what are the various attribute. This was my question. So what are the various attribute name? Please tell me. Anyone who want to speak, you can speak up over here. What are the various attribute
Customer
name?
name, security
Customer name,
number,
security number.
security number, address, account number.
Okay, so all these are what? All these are known as the attribute, attribute name. Okay, so I agree with this point. What what is this? Suppose I am just taking the example of the Preeti 11122222346 Yelhanka Bangalore A1111. So what is this? This is a tuple, or we can say the record. Okay, so in the relational database, it is known as a tuple. Okay, so if I look, you are looking for the only the one column, so you have the, suppose you have the address. So Yelhanka, Habal, Jayanagar, MG Road, Yelhanka, and Sanjay Nagar, these are the values which are represented by the column name. In the account table, same, we have the account number and the balance. These are the two different attributes we have. So with this, with the help of these two attributes, we can see we have the account table. Now, if you're looking for the relationship between the customer and account table, so what are the various common field or common attribute by which you can make the relationship between the customer and account? So you can see account number is a common part. Okay, am I right? Right now, account number is a common part by which you can make the relationship between the customer and account. So you can see Priti and Rocky. Now, Priti just having the account number that is 101. Okay, and Priti also having the another account number that is a A111, and Rocky is also having the same account number which is also having by the Priti, that is a A111. So you can see there's a common things by which we can make the relationship. Rest of the thing we have also 125 4 5 6 9 8 7. So you can see the important point I have written over here. The customer Priti and Rocky share the same account number, and they are also sharing the account number that is A111, as I have written over here. But what is the various part, or what are the various parameter by which you can make the relationship between the two different table, and those are the customer and account. So you can see here we have the account number, so by which you can see. And now student and faculty can also make a relationship between on some parameters, and that is important parameter, that is a course number or course id or course name. So you are along with me, so on the basis of the course number, because same course is also taught by the other faculties as well. But what is the important things by which you are connected to me? That is the course id. So we have the different course ID, that is a 1593 something like that one. Okay, so or a 1021 something. So these are the various course ID by which you can connect to the your faculties. So this is a relationship. So relationship can be done by between two different tables by having the common parameter or common attribute name. So here we have the common attribute, that is the account number. Okay, now this is just idea about the relationship, a relational database. Now is it a relational database and relational data model, we can say. Now is it clear to all? Yes, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
But here you
Yes, sir.
have, yes, you have shared the you have noted down the important part over here. Here we have the one, two, three, four, five, six records or six tuples. But here we have only the one, two, three, four, five account numbers only. So is it feasible or not? No one, no student asked me this question, sir. We have only the five record or five tuple in the account table, but while in the account number we have all the six. Now tell me why it is so. Just tell me why it is so.
ऐसी डुप्लीकेसी
Sir,
नहीं है.
sir, duplicate account number.
Yes, of course. This is a good point. I'm happy to know the answer from your side. That is, the account number can't be duplicated. So each and every account number must have a own different value, and that should be unique. So in the account table, this is also known as our primary key. I'm coming the point on this part, that is when we learn more about the key. But let me literally give some idea about over here. That is a primary key. So this primary key is determined, that is the value which is to be represented by the account table, that it should be recognized by the account number, and account number can't be duplicate in any bank. So here we have only the five rows, which is or five records of five tuples, which are representing the account details only. And here we have the customer name. So customer name can't be duplicate because here the multiple entries we have over here. Security number also we have the multiple. Address we can also have the multiple. City can be also multiple. Account number also could be multiple because the two different customer can share the account number because they have the joint account like facility. So in the customer table, what could be the primary key? So here I'm just assuming that right now it is not mentioned over there, that is a customer ID. And okay, the customer ID, so customer ID will be the your unique value or unique record for record representation. So customer ID will be their primary key. Okay, so with this primary key concept, we can make our record inform the uniqueness. I'm teaching your database management system to all. So I'm just maintaining your name only. So Ram, Lakshman, and so and so. We have the Harshit. We have the so many student name Neha and so on. So like this one. But in my class, suppose we have the four Neha. Okay, but I don't know the roll number about all those students. Then what happened to them? So I'm giving the attendance. I'm giving the marks to the Neha. So I will not justify their marks to whom I have given. So it is better idea to I just need to keep the information about only the their roll number and limit number. So in our university, suppose we have the four Neha, five Neha, or 20 Neha student, or four Rams or five Rams, how many students who are having the same name, but they will be uniquely identified by their roll number. So their customer ID here, customer ID, and at the side of the student, they have the own roll number that will be recognized by the unique representation. So primary key will help you to show you can make your role, or you can make your record or tuple unique way by using the key primary key. So we have the first primary key, that is a primary key, and we will learn more about the key into the coming classes undoubtedly. Okay, so this is just idea about the relational table. So there is a common thing we have, that is the account number, and here we have the account number as well. So this is a relational model. So what is the relation between these two table or relations? We have the account number. So by which we can make the relationship between. Now is it clear to all? Now any doubt? Then you can ask me.
Clear, sir.
No doubt over here. Then can I move to my next slide? because you all have to keep in mind all the words properly, because such kind of a question I can give into the examination as well as into the assignment as well. So I'm expecting the good answer from you all the side students. So it is clear to all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm
Yes,
moving to the
sir.
okay, I'm moving to the my next slide that shows the main highlight of this model is data is stored in the table that is called the relation, as I spoke you, and relations can be normalized. So this normalization can be understood by the simplification. The synonym word of the normalization means we are talking about the simplification, and this is known as the simplification. And why simplification is required? Because you have the table or relation, and this table can be simplified by breaking the another relation or another tables, and that part we will see into the normalization. And what are the normalization? We have the one NF, that is normalization form. Second NF, we have the third NF, okay, and again we have the BCNF, okay, that is Boyce-Codd normal form, and then we have the 4NF, and that is also known as the multi-valued normal form, okay, and then we have the 5NF, and it is also known as the projection normal form. So I'm writing all the type of the normal form over here, and we will see all the example one by one. So this is the most interesting exercise will be, because it is a most important aspect for implementing the database in any project. So any one can ask you the simple question: you are using a database, so at what level you have a database, or you have normalized your database? So this will be the biggest question, and that part we will learn into the normalization part. So in the normalized relationship, you can see the values saved into the atomic values. Okay, so we will see how to preserve the atomicity. So in the normalization part we will see. So this is the important part, and each row in the relation contains a unique value by which we can represent. You can use the pk means primary key. So through the primary key we can represent any unique record or any unique tuple into the our relation by putting the primary key, and each column is relation contain the value in the same domain. So for it is also possible, so we can contain the multiple values like address. So address of the many student could be the same, like Bhopal and Jhansi or any other city, so there is no issue about that part. So this is the main highlight of the model. Now I'm taking the another example to you for explaining purpose, so you can see. Now this is another example: student ID, that is something I'm putting over here, name, last name, and there is another table that is a provider. So in the provider ID we have a provider name. Okay, so this student and provider, so this is the provider means student is connecting to some provider. So provider could be like internet service provider, or provider could be any bank kind of vendor, so who provide the facilities to the students. So what is the relationship between the student and provider? So here we have the student relation, and another we have the provider. So what is the relationship between the student and provider? So you can see student ID and provider ID I am putting over here. Okay, and type of the plan you can see, and start date. So we can say, so this will be the another table which keeps the information about the student ID and provider ID. So this is a relation which is integrated or composed by the both these two relations. So from two different relations or two different tables, we can make the another relation. And how to make the another relation, that part we will see into the joining. Okay, and joining defining that you can join the two different table or relation. So by which by which we can see how to join. So there will be the left outer join, right outer join, okay, if join. So this part we will see into the joining. So here we have the example like joining. Very beginning part from the joining, you can understand you have the two different sets. In one set is contained by the ABC, and another set is contained by the 1 2 3, and you are joining, or you are providing the union of these two sets. Then what value will be the ABC and 1 2 3, because you are just adding the, you are merging the all the values which are contained by the two different sets. Same thing we will happen over here under the joining. So this will be the another part. Okay. So this would be the our another example. Advantage of the relational model, you can see the main advantage of the model is able to represent the data into simplified format. And what is the format? We have a tabular. So in the tabular way, the data will be a representation. In the table way, data will be representation. That why it is known as the simplified format. And the process of manipulating record is simplified with the use of the key attributes. That part will not recognized by the primary key and foreign key. And we will see all the concept in detailed manner. And of course, we will implement the key into the MySQL as well. A representation of the different types of relation is possible with this model. And here we have the different type of model means one to one, one to many, many to one, of course, and last we have the many to many. Okay, so one to one you can understand. Student can opt only the one subject in a one semester. So the core relationship between the course and student will be the one to one. But this is also possible. Student can opt multiple options. So this will be recognized by the one to many or many to one. So our student can opt the many courses. So here we have the example of the one to many. So depend on the circumstances what he or she is opting. A student will be taught by the many faculties. So what is this? This is known as the one to many because many faculties teaching to the many students. So here if I'm teaching to many, I'm teaching to all. So here the from the my side I am one and you are the all. So this is known as the one to many. Okay, and many faculty can teaching the many students. So this would be the example of the many to many. So depend on the circumstances, depend on the situation, what kind of the things, what kind of relationship we are having. In a room, a faculty can take a class. So this is a one to one because there will be the one room and one in a one room, one faculty can teach only. So this is the one to one. So relationship between the room and faculty information will be one to one. In a room, there are many students. So what is this? So this is a room and student relationship can be recognized by the one to many because in a room there are many students. So such kind of thing will be represented by the one to many to one to one. So this is the known as the relationship type. And of course, we will see all these concepts tomorrow itself only, no problem, into the ER model because ER model will show all the things into the graphical way. So that's why ER model is much popular. So any doubt in this relational data model, you can ask me, please. Any doubt into the relational model, you can ask me, students. Yes, student. Any doubt in the relational
No
model?
doubt, sir.
So in summary way, you can say a relational model is nothing basically a basic model which define that the information to tabular way, and in tabular way we have the attributes, tuple, and columns, and table also known as the relation. In the customer or in relational model, if you want to show the relationship between the two different model or two different database or two different table, then what we have the some common things or common columns by which we can make. So here we have the account as I told you, and here is a highlight. We have the point relations, normalize, and something that is a key. So we will see all the concept one by one. Another example I told you. So here this example is describing that we have the two different relations or table, and you are just putting the selected field or column by which you are making the another relations. This is also recognized by the joining. So in the joining we will see entire detail in step by step, but keep in mind the information which is represented by over the slide. You can see we have the two relations, student and provider, and all these information is also in form of the tabular way. So it is also known as a relation model. So this is just idea about the relation model. So as I told you, in network we have the another model that is a network model. Yes, please tell me any doubt you have, then you can ask me. In any doubt into the relation model you have, then you can ask me, else I can jump to the my next model that is a network model. Yes, please tell me.
No doubt, sir. No doubt.
Okay, so please keep in mind about the this example, that is a customer table and account table. Okay, I will jump again because whenever it is required. So in the network model, you can see the data in the network model represented by the collection of the records and relationship. Okay, so what is the records and what is the relationship we have seen already. So among the data represented by the links, this is the what we need to keep in mind. So you can see Priti is a common customer name who have the two different accounts. Okay, now that's why I'm just coming to the my back slide. That's why I told you you have to remember the word. Now let me use a different so you can understand. This Priti is a customer name. This keep in mind there are the three records which are belong to the Priti customer name. So Priti is having account detail that is 101. Priti is also represented by the another account number that is A456, and Priti is also having the third account number that is the A111. Okay, so you can see if we want to represent the information into the network way, so you can take this example that Priti. So Priti is associated with the three different accounts. So now keep in mind from the account detail, we can say Priti account belong to the 101. It has the balance 1000. The Priti's account, which is represented by the 456, it has the balance 5000. And if I go to the 8111 account number, so we have the 3000 balance from the Priti's account. So Priti is a customer who have the three different account in his is in her bank. Okay, so from her bank we can say there are three accounts. In each every account belong to the different balance values. So we have the 1000, 5000, 3000. If I show this information to the network model, then you can see Priti, that is customer name, her security number, his address, her address, and her city. Her city we have over here, that is Bangalore. And why the link? I'm explaining all the things, the account number. So account number and her balance will be 1000, and that is a belong to the A101, A triple one. Another part I can say A456, and her balance will be over here. That is a 5000. And why it is representing network model? Because only this customer who have the three different account, so through the links way I can represent such detail about the her account details here over here. So it can be represented by the as a linked list. You have remembered that word. So in a linked list, what we have represent the details, and this detail will keep the information about the next node. Okay, and this next node will keep the information about the next node in terms of the address or pointers. So same thing here, this customer will keep the detail about the account detail. So each and every account detail will be maintained by the HUD detail. So here we have the three different entries. So with this link we can easily find out. Same thing is also possible into the bank, into real bank account. Now your account is required the PAN card. That is your saving account is required PAN card or Aadhaar card. Okay. Now your bank is required the PAN card and Aadhaar card. Why Aadhaar card is required? Because account detail is also maintained by the account purpose only. There is no issue. But if we need to see the details of the detail of the customer without any problem, so the Aadhaar card is also linked with the accounts, and your address will be updated by automatically while Aadhaar card is linked. So when the other card is linked, so your account details, other detail will becomes automatically. And if you try to do something that is misbehaving or other kind of the doing any misleading info, following the misleading information from the account, definitely through the account, through your Aadhaar card we can get the details. And if you try to change your face while the uh, whether uh, by the medical techniques, okay, okay, and you are changing your other details, but you can't change your biometrics details because all the biometric details are stored into the your Aadhaar card as well. So that's why the you can't cheat with the bank. So this is a main policy which is done by the government of India. So this is done by the links, and this is also maintained by the network model. So a network is connected to the another network. It means a bank network is connected to the Aadhaar network, and Aadhaar network is also connected with the PAN card. Your bank must be associated with the PAN card as well as Aadhaar card. And after some times you're getting the important thing. If you are tax pay person, okay, then your PAN card must be connected with the Aadhaar card. So that's why the government is just uh, fishing, not fishing, just putting the net of putting the uh, wave on your details on your information. So when you are just trying to steal some information, you can't put the fake information, you have to put the right information. And this is done by the network model. But this network model is not a success, and due to maintain the data, to keep the data is not easy. But earlier days it was not easy, but nowadays it was easy. Why? Because we have the huge technology by which we can connect each and every information. So this network model nowadays is successful, but earlier days it was not successful. Now see, we have example over here, the banner. This vendor is connected with the employee and customer and product. So this vendor keeps the information about the employee, customer and product. Okay. And this sales transaction can be done by the these three relations. Those are the employee relation, customer relation and product relation. So this sales transaction will keep the information about that whose employee contact to the whose customer, and how much product will be sold out by the employee or customer one who purchased the product. So entire detail will be maintained by the sales transaction, and this vendor will keep the information about all these things. So it makes a linking between the each and everything. So I'm as a faculty, I'm have a so many practice. Okay. And now I have also associated with to all with the subject. Okay. So I'm just need to see the detail of the practice students and see the detail of you, then I can see without any problem because I have connected with you. So this is through this network model you can do. And now as a practice there are many students and who is a part of the student database as well. So they are connected to into the database as well. So this student databases or subject, their subject details are connected with the this thing. So as a proctor I can check the my procty students detail, which subject is opted by the student and right now how many marks he or she got. So this is the things which is connected with the link model. Oh sorry, this network model. So there is an important word, we have the link. But earlier days it was not succeed, but right now it is successful manner. So real example, you can see the bank is associated with the Aadhaar card and PAN card, and it makes a network model. This is a good thing we have over here. So this is a network model. So any doubt in this network model you have, then you can ask me, please. Yes, student, please. Any doubt you have, then you can ask me.
No doubt, sir.
It is easy. It is clear to all what is mean by the network model. Because into the coming examination, maybe the midterm or
Yes,
any
sir.
kind of any kind of examination, I will ask this kind of the model into a different way, and you have to explain with proper example. That's why I'm giving this point over here. Okay. So network model means your information must be connected to the other thing, but should be in from the link. So this is theoretical part I am leaving here right now. So you can read out all the theoretical part from this point. Okay. So now advantage, as I spoke you so many advantage part, but let us understand the few points. A representation of the relationship between the entities. Entities means I'm talking about the this entities can also be represented by the model relation. Okay. Or table. Okay. A relation, or we can say table. So implemented using pointers. Okay, why pointers? Because the particular thing will keep the information about the other thing into the form of the pointers. Pointers means we keep the information about the memory locations. So which allow the representation of arbitrary relationship. Unlike the hierarchical model, it is easy. So what is the next model we have? That is a hierarchical model. And data manipulation can be done easily with this model. Why? Because we know the our information is associated with the another detail. So we keep the information about the address of the detail of the other thing, so we can easily point out the such thing. So that's why pointer. But it was not easy implementation, it would take some times in earlier days. So this was a drawback, but right now in the today's era we are using the network model as well. Actually what happened, we are following the so many kind of the model. We are also having the details in form of the tabular way. So we have the relational model, and these relations can be connected with the another relations, and it makes a chain in form of the network. So we have the network model. So simultaneously we can say an organization can have the network model as well as the relational model. So there is a guarantee. We can't say only the one model can be followed by the an organization. No, an organization can follow the multiple model. This is also possible. Bank is also having. So this is a real example I can say. Next we have the hierarchical model. So this model which shows the detail all the detail into the hierarchical model, just like the tree pattern. So you have studied the tree into the data structure and algorithm. So you can see, if you want to show your information into the hierarchical way, so you have the hierarchical model. So a hierarchical model is just nothing, a simple model which data will be organized in the tree like structure as I spoke you. So why it is required? Because you want to show the relationship between your data from the like the parent and child relationship, then you have the hierarchical model. So in the tree of course shows the detail in form of the parent and child relationship. So that's why we have the hierarchical model. So let's us have the some example. Now see, this example is visible to all. This is a real
Yes, sir.
example. Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, this model, this is an example. Actually, this is an example, but this model previously or mostly used by the IBM. Okay, IBM. Okay, this IBM information management system. So I in the IBM organization, when the information is required to manage, so there is a system which is known as the IMS, that is IBM information system. In the 1960 and 1970, now see we are talking about the 50 years back. So they are rarely seen today due to certain operational inefficiency. So what is the drawback in this model? This is not a operational inefficiency. So if you want to do perform any operation, so this model is not suitable in form of the some operations. But here let us understand some example over here. Now we have the great apps. So great apps is what we have the category of the apps. In the apps we have the orangutans, gorilla and chimpanzees and humans. And orangutans we have the Bornean orangutans and Sumatrans orangutans. In gorilla we have the eastern gorilla, western gorilla, and in the chimpanzee we have the common chimpanzees and bonobo. And in human we have modern human. So in hierarchical way now we can say some information can be passed to the other database or other relation, but should be represented by the hierarchical way. So all the database, all the relation are representing in form of the hierarchical way. So we have the this kind of the model. But this model is very truly speaking is not efficient or effective in today's era as well as the from last 30 years. I'm also observing this point. This model is not much suitable because what the main reason? Now see, this common chimpanzee record and this eastern gorilla record, what is the relationship between this part? Okay, there's no relationship between, because they have the different level, they have the different category. So if they have the some relationships, then it is also possible. If you try to make the relationship, then this make a complex operation. If you try to do so, then this make a complex relationship between the its databases or its relationship. So that's why it provides the inefficiency. So this is the main reason. So IBM nowadays is not using this kind of the model. But who or which organization is use this model? We have the example, that is IBM. So it is a 50 years ago matter, but right now most of the people, most of the person are looking for the only two different models. Those are the relational model and we have the entity relationship model. But practically a network model is growing up for connecting the people through its simple all things. Now we have the things. I'm taking the real example about the network model once again. Now you can see we have a bank account and in X bank, and there is an N bank, we have the Y bank and Z bank. Suppose we have the account in the X bank. Now this X bank is merged into the Z bank. So all the details which are not maintained by the Z bank now accessible through the this bank, because this is the collaboration between the two different banks. So how it is possible? Through the network model is also possible, and through the network model we can, this bank, this X bank and Z bank can also take your PAN card detail and Aadhaar card details through the network. So because the networking is applicable over there. So they don't, bank does not have the your PAN card detail, bank does not have the detail of the Aadhaar card detail, but they have the link, they have the network by which just putting the only the your bank detail, your PAN card detail and Aadhaar card detail, and get the entire detail. So bank did not never take your PAN card detail or Aadhaar card detail while applying the PAN card or Aadhaar card. But after the having the Aadhaar card or PAN card, now bank require your such detail. Why? Because you can't son from the things, you have to look into the matter. Whenever bank need to any details, where are you, then bank easily find out you. So it is a matter of the financial, so that's why bank is also looking for the PAN card and other details. So this is the reason network model is nowadays successful. But if we're talking about the hierarchy model, no, hierarchy model is not suitable nowadays. Or either for understanding the data structure we can understand, but this is only the real application, real implemented model nowadays. So this model is not suitable for the today's era, so that's why this model is not fit. But what is the advantage was used by the IBM at the time? So I have over here, this model only have the relationship which is showing the one to one, one to many relationship. So when you require the one to many relationship, then at the time this model is fit. Okay, the proper ordering in form of the tree we can see. So in form of the tree, the all the information is maintained or represented. Then we can use, and it also allow the virtual record. This virtual record means suppose we are looking for the bonobo chimpanzee detail. So this bonobo chimpanzee is hierarchical by the chimpanzees. Okay, so this chimpanzee is a parent information which keeps the information about its child, that is a bonobo, and in great apps keeps the information about the chimpanzee as well. So this great app is a living entity, of course it will keep the information about the chimpanzee and its grand child, that is a bonobo. So it also possible. So virtual information also accessible by the great apps by the bonobo itself, so by through the chimpanzees. This is the main reason. So this is the advantage, but the lots of the disadvantage we have over here about the this hierarchical model. But nowadays no organization is using, so that's why the we are not much talking about the disadvantage part. But due to inefficiency or ineffectiveness, we are avoiding the such model. So but truly speaking, we have the important model, those are the relation model, network model, and ER model. Before jumping the ER model, network model is not easy to implement, but nowadays it is usable. A relation model and is a basically we can say this is a basic model, and for defining a network model it requires. Okay, and ER model is a completely graphical representation of the such model, and this ER model will be transformed into the relation or table. So after understanding ER model, we can transform our detail into the relational model or tabular detail. So we can say these all three models are associated with each other. But if we're talking about the hierarchical model, this model is not much associated with this kind of the model. So in any book you are looking for any model, then these three models are suitable or fit for any organization rather than the other models. If we're talking about the other model, we have the object oriented model. Okay, in object oriented model, database model, that is also known as object oriented database model, that is OODBM. But this model is also require the information when you are dealing with the information from the objects. So there is no guarantee each and every time you will use your information from the object. So that's why this model is not much suitable for the any organization. So this is the model we are not looking for the object oriented. Now we have the object based database model. Again, this model is also not fit for the any organization. It has own drawback, like hierarchical model. So few models are not fit the organization from the very beginning they have invented. So that's why we are, or any books or most of the books always follow the three different model. Those are the relational model, network model, or EM model. And any university or any college or any faculty, of course, looking for only the three different models. Those are relation model, EM model, network model. So I always focus right now from the today's onward, relation model, network model, and ER model. So this is my intention to explain about the data model. Before jumping the entity relationship model, please let me know, is it clear to all about these three important model: relation model, network model, or and hierarchical model? If it is clear to all, then I can move to the ER model, and this is the most important part from which I can ask two questions from the ER model. So before jumping the ER model, let me know this part. Is it clear to all? Relational model, network model, and hierarchical model.
Yes, sir.
Is it tough or is it easy? Now tell me, because I have explained all the concept through some examples. Yes, please tell me, is it clear to all? Relational model, network model, and hierarchical model. Thereafter, I can jump to the ER model. Yes, is it clear to all? Or if I ask any question from these three models, then you are able to speak. Okay? Say yes or no. So I will not
Yes,
worry
sir.
about. Okay, now can I explain right now the important model, that is the ER model, from which we will have some exercise. That's why I'm saying. Yes, please tell me.
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, so I'm just moving to the next important model, that is followed by the any book, that is we have the entity relationship model. From this model we have the loads of the exercise, and I will give some exercise as a tutorial or as assignment. This model is nothing only simply representing the entire detail in form of the entity and relationship. And now the question comes around, what is an entity? Okay, so before jumping the each and everything, let us understand this model in simple way. Entity relationship model, and it is also known as the ER model. So from this model, I will ask few questions tomorrow from the other students. Okay, those students who are listening properly. So tomorrow I will ask the few questions from ER model, hierarchical model, network model, and data model. If they are failed to do, they are failed to speak something, so I will not give their attendance. Please keep in mind all the words. So entity relationship model, ER model, is based on the notion of the real world entities. Now you have to keep in mind all these words: real world entities and relationship among them. So while formulating real world scenario into the database model, ER model create entity set, relationship set, general attribute, and constant. So when we understand, we try to understand the ER model, we have the entity set, relationship set, general attributes, and constant. So all these are the new things we are having for explaining the ER model. ER model is best suited. As I spoke so many times, ER model is the most applicable model, which is usable by any person, any people nowadays, and is a conceptual model design of the database. An ER model is consisted by the entities and their attributes. Please keep in mind entities and their attribute and relationship among the entities. So what is mean by the entities? So indirectly, I can say entities is a relation, but truly speaking, entity is a relation. Okay. Now from this slide, we will start the ER model with some example. But let me know this point is clear to all. What is mean by the entity? Entity is a real world entity, and which shows the a relationship, or which shows the relation or a table. Okay. And we have the relationship between the two different tables or relations, so we have the relationship. Okay, so that's why the term is given over here, relationship among the entities. So among the entities means there could be the many entities. Yes. Now tell me any doubt in this slide?
No, sir.
Okay, so can anyone give me the a real example of the entities? So I can say a real example of the entities. Anyone who knows about the real example of the entities, please tell me. I need the answer from your side. So what is the real example of the entities? Please tell me. Yes, please tell me any real example.
Sir, everything is the
Everything.
entity that has a physical existence.
Of course, I can agree this point, but I need the
Sir,
answer. Any
sir,
example
like
then?
Sir, student,
like
faculty, customer.
Okay.
Sir, like we are filling the student details in a database. So every student detail means every student is an entity and his details are the attributes.
So what are the their attributes? Those could be the roll
Attributes can be
number. Yeah,
name,
the
roll number,
roll number, name, age, date of birth. Of course,
date
I
of birth.
agree. Yes, good. So this is the point you are getting properly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from this model, because from this model we have the so many exercise. So in the coming days, or most probably by tomorrow, we have some exercise and we will discuss properly with this model. But let us some glance of this model. So that's why the picture should be clear properly. So relationship or relation or table, I'm talking again, and relationship means the connection between the both two tables or more than two tables. So tables can be identified the physical entity. So that is a real world entity. So we have the student, faculty. We can take the example like the chair. We can take the table. Okay, and we have the bags, and we can say the pen. A pen can have its own attribute like its cap, its color, and its size, and what is the ink color. So we have the different attributes. So in the physical entity we have so many example, like in a room, we have the ceiling fan. A ceiling fan is definitely an entity. It has the different attributes. So what are those attributes? It's bing, its color, okay, its rpm is rotation per minute, okay. And suppose we are using regulator, so depends on the regulator or its regulatory number, so we can increase or decrease the its rpm, okay. So these are the different attributes, okay. Is it clear to all about the real entity? I'm talking about the real entity. Is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in a room, what are the various attributes? So what are the various attributes which is represented by a room? Just please, can anyone tell me what are the various attribute could be of a room?
sir, lights, fan, TV,
Mm-hmm.
objects,
Its
No,
dimension.
and
no. That should be meaningful. Okay, these are the component of a room. Okay, but I am talking about the attributes.
Sir, room number.
That is a good point. Room number, good. Next one.
Its dimensions.
Okay, with that, it's a dimension, and we can say this dimension can be understood with its size. Okay, good. Next one. Number of walls, we can say. Number
Sir,
of walls.
room color. Sir, room
Yeah,
color.
yeah, of course, room color. And we can say number of wall, because in a room there are by default we have the four walls, but a triangle room can also possible. So number of walls we can have the three or four. Okay, suppose we have a room in the hexagon style or pentagon style, so we can say the number of walls may increase or decrease. Okay, of course. So number of walls good, the color good, size or dimension is good, room number is good. Okay. Yes, in a room, there would be the important part, a window. So we can say number of window. How many windows occupied by a room? Two, three, or zero? Maybe there is no room. And how many doors? So number of doors. Of course, we have the two doors, three doors, or one door. Okay, so these are the various attributes which represent the room database. Okay, is it clear to all?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so are you happy to understand about this entity relationship model right now in this slide only? Is because in the coming slide we have the some example. Now, shall I move ahead? Okay. So now see entity. So entity is nothing which is a real world entity having the properties called attributes. Okay. Now this part we have already discussed so many times. Okay, so in a year model, entity is a real world entity which keeps the some property. Those are the attributes like the room. So room number, size, color, number of the walls, number of the doors, number of the windows is a part of the attributes. Okay, of course I agree with this point. And every attribute defined by its set of the values is called domain. Yes, can anyone give me an idea about the domain? What is mean by the domain? From this point, please tell me. From domain, what is mean by the domain? Every attribute is defined by the set of the values and called a domain. Yes, please tell me. Any student?
Sir, like his role.
Uh,
Means if someone is student or teacher, his respective attributes are different. Like if someone is student, then we require his name, roll number, date of birth, registration number, etc.
okay, these are the domain. Okay, so every attribute is defined by the set of the values which are domain. So in our example, suppose I am taking the color, and this color is what, this is my the column name, field name, or attribute name. So if all the things which are represented by the only color attributes, like we have the black, blue, pink, yellow, and magenta, and white. So all these values which are represented by the color column name, it is known as a domain. Okay, like blue, black, pink, yellow, magenta, and white, these are the known as the at domain. Now is it clear to all? Every attribute defined by its set of the values, these are the known as the domain. So what is the domain of the color column name or color attribute? That is a black, white. Okay, so I can write. So suppose I'm talking about the color. This color is my do color is what my column name. So I can write the set of the attributes. Those are the black, okay, blue, okay, white, red, pink, yellow. So this is what, this is my domain. Okay, now is it clear to all the meaning of the domain right now? This is what, this is my attribute name, and this attribute is contained by the set of the some values. Those are the blue, black, white, red, pink, and yellow. So this is known as a domain. Now is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
Yes, sir.
so in the database course, you have to keep in mind each and every word properly, and I will explain all the concept with some examples. Okay, so for example, in a school database or college database, a student is considered an entity. Okay, as I spoke you, and as I spoke you, and as you spoke to us. Now, student has a various attribute like name, age, class. We have already discussed. Now, relationship. So, logical association. The word you have to keep in mind: the association between the two different entities is known as the relationship or connection. In general term, the logical association between entities is called the relationship. Or relation could be or mapped with the various entities into different ways. Those are one to many, many to one, and many to many. Okay, can anyone tell me the real example of the many to many, one to one, or one to many, or many to many? Just except to the student faculty example, just take me the real example. Yes, please tell me any real example. You
Sir,
can take a
many customers gives many orders in a day.
uh, okay. Many customer can give the many order. This is a good example. A customer can give the multiple order. Of course, this is known as
Yes,
the
sir.
one to many. Good example. A many customer gives a many order. This is a good example for the one to many to many. Of course. Okay. In my home. Okay. But truly speaking, I'm taking a real example. You can understand. This is general example. It is not a matter of the laughing. I'm the alone in my home. Okay. So I'm the alone son of the my father. So the relationship between the my father and I, so what is in the he is my father and I'm his son. So this is a one to one relationship between the my father and I. This is a real example. Okay, is it clear to all? I only the one my mother, and who is, and she is taking care of me from the my since I was born. So this is a relationship between the one to one. Okay, now is it clear to all?
Yes, sir.
A no, practically a child can have the multiple mother. No. Okay, Okay, the affection and love is different part, but very practically, a child can have the multiple mother. No, so the relationship between the mother and child will be the 1 to 1. But a mother can have the multiple children, so we can say that this is not the one too many. Okay, am I right? Okay, so a father can have the multiple children. So this is a real example of the one too many. Okay, so is it clear to all? Okay, so I have the two brothers. Okay, this I'm taking the example. I have the two brothers and one sister. So my siblings or my brother and sister are having the only the one father. So this is a many to one. So one to many and many to one are the same, but it is represent the direction from which direction you are looking. Okay, so this is the practically we have only the three different kinds of mapping. Those are one to many or one to one. These are the same thing, but from which direction you are looking that part, it is only the representation. And we have the one to one and one to many. So this is a mapping cardinality. It is known as the mapping cardinality into the database, or ER diagram we will see properly. So here we have the example, as you can see over the slide. Entity, an entity can have the multiple attributes. So here we have the one attribute and so on, so we can have the multiple attributes. So I'm putting the attribute n, and the entity again we have the, this could be the student. Okay, and this could be the course. So here we have the attribute 1 and attribute n. So attribute course entity can have the course ID, course name, okay, and course semester, okay, and course year, so those details so and so. And a student we can the name, age, date of birth, and so and so details. So this is the point. So what is the relationship by which I can make, that is known as the student course. So this relationship represents the something which is required part. So which course will be opted by the student, that is represented by the relationship part. And this is the diagram to understand the ER model. So ER model will look like here, as you can see over the slide. Now tell me, is it